A teenager from Sheffield has set up an online petition that's attracted more than 85,000 signatures so far. Lucy Gavaghan, who's 14, is asking Tesco to ban the sale of eggs from hens kept in cages and barns. Lucy says she's been writing to Tesco for years about the welfare of hens, and now she's hoping her petition might just make the difference. I spoke to Lucy this morning before she set off for school, and I asked her how she got interested in hens in the first place.
I've been interested in hens since I got to know them on a livery yard. I took an interest in poultry then and started researching kind of the way they're treated in the commercial world. I found out that they're often kept in cages and barns. So from there I wrote to politicians and some supermarkets about it to try and end the sales of caged and barn eggs.
Tell me about the hens that first won your heart then.
Well, the first hen I met was Mrs. Hen, and I didn't really have an interest particularly in poultry before that. And she became really tame, she was really friendly, and it made me a lot more aware of birds and poultry and kind of how they can be besides just commercial farms.
That they have personalities?
Yeah, they really do. They're all very individual.
Do you keep hens yourself?
I do. I've got 5 myself at the moment. A few of my hens, they once lived in commercial cages and barns, and I've seen the state that they come out in, and they're really unwell, and it just shows how badly they're kept.
What's wrong with them?
Often they have very few feathers. They're just generally quite ill, they're underweight, they're malnourished, they're quite hard to get back into a state of health really. But with the right treatment they do become very beautiful animals.
If Tesco refuse to stop selling eggs from caged and barn-kept hens, what will you do next?
The starting point is to get Tesco's to stop, and from there I would like to go on to ask the same of the other supermarkets. And eventually, obviously the ideal would be for there to be no caged and barn farming.
When you've written to Tesco, what do they reply?
They say that all their eggs are sourced from British farms, but what I'm asking them isn't that they source their eggs from all British farms, although that is good. It's about the welfare within those farms that it matters.
Now, the reason why people keep hens in barns and cages is because it's an effective way to maximise the amount that they lay. And it makes the eggs cheaper, so it brings eggs within the reach of poorer families. That's the justification. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I can understand completely that it is important for eggs to be affordable for all families, but the welfare of the animals is very important, and in a lot of cases free-range eggs, they're not very much more expensive than caged eggs, and if all eggs went free-range and organic, the price would probably drop to similar to a point of where the cheaper eggs were, because they're the ones that are in the highest demand.
If Tesco sell eggs that are from caged birds, how are the packs marked?
They do have to write on them that they're eggs from caged hens, but so many people aren't aware of it. A lot of people might buy them by mistake. I think a lot of people aren't actually aware of how barn hens are kept, and that that's at a very low level as well.
What are conditions like for barn hens?
They're kept in the barns. They never get to go outside and kind of experience the sun and the outside world, which for me is a really important part of keeping a hen and keeping them in a happy life and keeping them healthy. So they never get to experience that. Again, it's very tightly compact with all the other chickens, so it can be quite stressful for them, and then it can really lead to them losing weight or being ill.
So if you care about the welfare of hens, what kind of eggs do you think you should buy?
The best type of eggs you can buy is organic, but they are often a bit more expensive. So free range is probably the best choice for people.
And what sort of conditions would a free range hen live in then?
The regulations for free range hens, they're quite difficult to pinpoint, so it can be hard to tell exactly how much outdoor space they have. But they are, despite that, so much better than buying caged and barn eggs, because the hens should have the option to go outside.
Lucy Gavaghan. Now, in case you were wondering, just over half of eggs produced in the UK are from caged hens. Under 5% are from hens in barns. Some supermarkets, including Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Co-op and M&S, no longer sell eggs from caged birds. Tesco told us it's committed to high animal welfare standards. It says all its egg producers must comply with the Red Tractor Assurance Scheme and meet Tesco's additional welfare standards. Tesco said eggs from caged hens are clearly labelled. We had a quick look online, and the everyday value eggs do say on the front of the box, from caged hens.